Oh, what should you do? And you just make a red line. Oh, okay. What should I do to the headlights? Bam. It's just, you can see it really quickly. Oh, okay, I'm going to go here. And that will give you the direction to move forwards. And it's a very cheap, fast way to work. It's just the only problem is you have to break rhythm, which is you have to have the discipline to know I'm going to stop right now and just have some objectivity. Let me stop, render, and then look at it tomorrow. And then you have clarity the next day.
Man, when this car dropped, I couldn't believe. It's like damn it, Porsche, they did it again. It feels really military truck, right? With this kind of a gray, milky.
Dude, you made the dream G.I. Joe truck.
Right?
Yeah, you did it.
What is going on?
It's so cool to see an OEM or two of them just really swinging for the fences and going like, this, we're gonna make the coolest thing. Truly, it's like, what is cooler than those two cars in regards to the design at the time? Nothing. It's so cool.
I'm still staring at it like, to me it's close to the perfection. Can it be better? It can't.
Nah, it's just so cool. Everything is so cool about that thing. But you should actually, after this podcast, you should look at your latest Baja with those fresh, objective eyes and go like, and you should draw on it before you go to bed. I would, with that kind of like, I just time portaled into the past and look at it and then go, crap. Yay.
All right, this is the one, right?
This is the one. This is meta. This is supposed to be the center. Yeah. I love this. I love this creation you made. Ironically, we're doing this for the second time this episode.
I was about to mention now, like, all right, this is real. I'm recording because please tell us what happened. I'm not able to say it.
Well, Carlos and I, we're always busy working on stuff. And I think I was on my way out to vacation and I was really busy. And we forgot to hit the record button and we recorded. We didn't record. We made a whole hour and a half plus episode. And at the end, we were like, oh, I think we didn't record it. Which is hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, man. It's so nice for you saying we, because I have to say, I blame myself. It was just me.
It's both of us.
I'm responsible to click the button and say, hey, recording. And I did it. I did. Why I didn't play?
Well, to be fair, we usually pre-do these episodes and talk about life and like art and like everything else naturally for like 30 minutes before we record anyway. So it's hard to know when to record and all that stuff. But it's okay. It's always easier the second time around. So this will probably be a better episode for it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's been 2 weeks since we did it. So I think we'll probably forget some of the things and it'll still feel somewhat fresh. At least for me, my memory is horrible, so I totally forgot. What is this again? Where am I?
Who I am? What am I doing here? Who are you actually?
I have a lot of love to give to you for this one. It's one of my favorites. I think that there's so many cool things, and I think at the time it was kind of a real good shift for us in regards to the fact that you did a 101 one-off design for this, for the meta itself, and I still think that I love to see your DNA in the design of this, which is really killer, and we can talk a bit about that as well. But it was really cool, and I've been looking forward to this episode since we decided to do the podcast. This is one of them that I was really excited about because I, like the audience, probably want to know a bit about how your process was, the inspiration, all of these really cool things, because it's out of all of we're on 34 now, so out of the 34 builds, it to me ranks pretty high because of what you managed to do by making a one-of-one car and the design all the way through. So it's really cool.
Thanks, man. And it's true that it was a shift for us, something like we never did before. It was something new on the table. And I think it was the perfect storm for me because I was in between jobs, so I have a lot of time. And I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to do a car from scratch. I'm going to design my own Baja truck.
Yeah.
And something like I wouldn't even consider without having the support, because back then I was really insecure about creating my own design for different reasons. It's not the same, creating your own thing and save it in your hard drive and put in there, right? But
Yeah.
here, I knew if I start, I had to finish because I'm doing
Yeah.
this with you. So I cannot say, hey, you know what, Ash, this car what we're doing and you're spending already 2 weeks, we are not doing it because I don't like what I'm doing. So I can't. I had to be commit what I'm doing. So I was a little bit nervous, commit to one design where I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out, and maybe it's gonna be a waste of time.
Interesting. Well, the
Yeah.
pressure of that yielded some really great results, I think, and that's cool. And I was out in Paris and I was doing a talk, and thanks to the new friends that I met out there, they were asking about the process and what we do. And that was one of the things I was explaining, how it's the both of us working in tandem and these interesting kind of things that come of it, which is what you just said, is there's this pressure of commitment to finish something, and also the seriousness of trying to get the best work out of you when you do it, because there's another person on the other side of this, which is me. Or when I'm working, I'm thinking about the pressure of you as well, and trying to make sure that the thing gets executed at the highest level. And that's cool to see, and it's cool to know, because on the next episode will most likely be the Raptor R version, which is my take on my favorite truck of all time. So it's cool. We were kind of playing with these dualities, and again, I think this is the second iteration of like off-road trucks, and you're not an off-road truck person. It's more of like an American thing, I would imagine, but you embraced it and you've had so much fun with it. And I think that you've taken it really far. I'm really excited to kind of dive into it. It's a bit of a different flow too, because most of our episodes, it starts with the base designer and giving them love and praise, because they're the people that we built the car on. And so this is like, it's you. It's you and your inspiration. Obviously you're pulling from BMW's lineage and heritage, but you're tying it into other things. You're using other inspirations as well, which is really cool.
I think you mentioned also something super interesting there. I want to mention, I have a thought about the process, what you're doing alone or with a partner, or you are committed about something to do. I'm thinking about back then when I was doing whatever personal project. I have a long project, like I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months, and I realized without having any deadline, your own internal deadline to commit or one design, one project, if it's too long, I think as an artist you evolve, you grow and change. So by the time you are nearly close to finish your project, where 5 months ago you started thinking, oh, that could be really cool, but after 5 months you're going to be maybe slightly different person, maybe your motivation is different.
Yep.
And then you reflect on your own work from 5 months ago, you're going to be, damn it, you lose.
You'll never get done.
Yeah, you lose all the power, motivation. I think you confront that idea more than me. I think you were involved in so many long projects. No, I'm not talking about car related. I think about in your films and all your art directing and all the design you're doing. I guess something close to that, right?
Yeah, you change so much through the process, and you have to set a due date. John Lasseter said it perfectly. He said, art is not done, it's just due. And I think that's a true statement. I don't know if he was the first one to say it, but that's who I heard it from. That's why when we do it, even when I came back, I was like, hey, we're doing our current car. I was like, we have to lock this in and set a due date, because it'll never get done. We love the process and toying with things so much, and time goes by so quickly when you're in the middle of it. So that's kind of one of the magic formulas to our creative path, is because we're able to kind of bounce and push one another and create expectations. And it's not like I'm saying, come on, we got you feel it internally. So it's a matter of like, I think a internal respect kind of thing, like, okay, being conscientious and then empathetical of the other person on the other side, at the same time executing at high levels. It's just a part of the process, which is really cool. And I think it's really, as you mentioned, like as an artist, you're constantly evolving. I realize that every 3 to 4 months I hit a new cycle of growth. And that means that if I don't finish something in 3 to 4 months, I usually look back at it and I'm like, I hate that thing. And then I'm not willing to like jump off the cliff with it. Whereas when I'm right in the middle of it, I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever made. And then like 3 months or 4 months pass, or sometimes 6 months, I'm like, oh, this is the worst thing. Or what was I thinking?
All right. Well, let me make you the tricky question. Do you think that process will help you out to go smoother if you don't have to deal with CG?
Yeah,
No.
of course. Yeah.
Because thinking back to, all right, I have to jump back on this project. I had to deal with this and this and this and
Oh,
this
God.
compromise and issues.
Yeah, CGI is like when reality hits the non-reality, and it's just one of the pains. I mean, yeah, yesterday I was coming back from vacation, diving back in. I was like, nothing's working. The licenses are breaking. Like, file paths are breaking. This is weird. That thing doesn't look good. And it was like, but then it's just dealing with it. But that's the reality of it. It's it's kind of funny. I'm sure most people that are listening to this are CGI artists themselves, so they know the pain of it. Most people just think that we're just, because we don't communicate it very well, they just think we're pushing buttons and then magic happens. It's so difficult to do it and then also communicate and explain like why something works and why something doesn't. I was thinking about that deeply last night, like, because like I'm building the 280Z in my garage, and I was needing some help with like some electrical stuff, and I was like, I could do it, but then I'm like, but I would much rather somebody that's gone through and like knows all these things. Because I was thinking to myself, if somebody wanted to do what I do but didn't hire me, and I was like, I mean, good luck. I don't even know how you would, because there's so many I know you know this too, there's so many moments that happens where you're like, if I didn't go left right there, I'd be going right, and I would fall into a hole of despair, and like, and you can go wrong in so many different ways. You can also go right in a lot of different ways, but it's so tangential, and so much of it is just added up on time that you've added into the method of understanding your craft, I suppose. Yeah.
It's really interesting to hear you, man, talk about that process, what it means to you. Maybe because it's different mindset, or maybe the way I'm wired in my brain is different than yours. And that's why I love working with you, because you have also so many different perspectives to bring on the table, and always kind of inspiring for me to see what your opinion, where your mind go, where I'm really focusing, really determined. I'm thinking the last couple of days, actually when you were on holidays, I was diving really deeply in work here in the studio. Yeah. And I realized, oh shit, I'm losing my mind here. Because the way I work, maybe for you guys, you don't know, the way I work, I like to work in tangent of measure of time of 4 or 5 days, a week or 2 weeks, where I can stagger different layers of depth. I can just go and link together different days together. So one task could be 3 days. So I'm adding layers on complexity in my brain. When I go to bed, I'm waking up the next morning, think about the issue yesterday, have an idea, new idea to how to solve it. So everything just pile up to the layer. So by the end of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I'm really into something, and it's working really well for sure, because I solved the problem. But at the same time, as a human, you're spending maybe too much time on the computer for 2 weeks. I feel kind of oh wow, I'm going too deep here, and in so many depth levels. And but again, because I feel comfortable, doing in the precise work and building layer by layer, I really feel super uncomfortable with that kind of process. And
You design your life around this method, though.
Yeah.
You don't have kids coming in, and
No,
you don't have all these other jobs and random things coming in and bothering you and getting you away. Yeah, you've designed your life around it.
Yeah, I think when I do deep work for different gigs or commercial work, I do the same kind of a 1 month or maximum 3 months, and it's really intense. And I love that, because I can solve massive problems or bring something really cool and super deep and creating really cool stuff. But I think you are way better than me doing this kind of viewing issues with a whole picture, solving problems and connecting and creating something really cool in different ways. And I love that.
I don't know about that, but I try. Well, I think the potential difference, and we should maybe also give reference to a book that we both love and we're currently rereading now, called Mastery by Robert Greene. I reference that book all the time, especially when I'm doing talks and stuff. If you're listening to this and you haven't read this and you're dealing with some whatever, you want to be a master or something, but you're struggling, even at say a quote unquote mastery, which is no real thing of mastery, but even if you're at a high level, would find that book is just like every page has a lesson and that could take you a lifetime to like absorb for the most part, or something to reflect on. But your mastery approach is really great. You've designed a life so that you can do deep saturated dives into a task and a goal and achieve the level of depth that most can't, simply in my mind, simply because most aren't willing to go that far for their own various reasons. I have the same tendency. I feel like I'm always lagging behind you because I'm not giving myself those big solid chunks of time. My time and focus is usually scattered quite a bit by choice. But then that gives us these other potential perspective outside of these things, which is good and bad. It just depends on the task at hand. But your deep dives are really what helps this work. And I know you did a deep dive when it came to the Meta project because you had to. Can you talk a bit about that?
I think in the Meta, if I remember well, to me, it was the challenge. One is the modeling. I was able to modeling, but in this endeavor, I wanted to improve on my modeling skills, which is not really my highlights on my skill set. So that's why I wanted to. Yeah, even though back then I was really behind of what is the language of polymodel. I try my best here in the Meta. I think that was after the Stratos.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the second car from scratch and doing, really taking the time. I think that was the Stratos and this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so it was
the two.
Yeah, it was to me like, all right, I think I feel ready to jump on this one. And then on top, you have the creating a design from scratch, which is wild. I learned so much, and now reflecting, actually the last episode we talk about the Meta again, and I went through again with all the process. Like, wow, I feel like I grow up so much about the process, and I'm really curious and also excited to show you guys the process of this one, because I'm pretty sure people will be, oh, you're doing that thing? Oh, right, cool. Because I'm doing something similar, or actually you're gonna be totally opposite. What you're doing is something stupid. I don't know.
Well, you got results. That's the end of it. Like you can say that doesn't work or that's the wrong method, but the result at the end is effective. But even you can look back at the process and critique it. Of course, you should be able to. That's what a lot of the themes of our episodes are, because we're looking back at the builds. We're going to probably start doing some more modern current episodes of the current builds too. So we have different clarities, different versions of our interpretations of things as well, because the process changes so much and there's so much change that happens between, because this is 3 years old now, the Meta?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
A lot happens between you and I in 3 years. It's like a normal person's 15 years potentially. I'd say one of our years is probably a normal person's 5 years or 10 years. Not to say that we're living more, but I just think that we're really pushing hard as possible.
Yeah, finding the right compromise between human and machines, right?
Yeah. But more machine than human, right? Yeah. Stone cold T1000s out here. Yeah. You want to start guiding us through some of the references, or did you start with references, or did it start with references? I think it did, right? It was like, I was working on the Raptor and you were like, okay, I want to do something with the BMW, I believe, right?
Yeah. The whole idea was what if BMW is doing a Baja? How is it going to look like?
Yeah.
I was, back then, even BMW started to make some kind of a controversy design out there.
3 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's been like 5 years. I think they've been doing
a controversial design.
Ones, yeah.
And I wanted to do something slightly different what BMW is doing. I think obviously coming from the 90s and 2000, to me the pinnacle of design of BMW, at least my generation,
Yeah.
I love that kind of cars from the E46 or E36 or E39, Series 7. I think my favorite one, it could be the Series 7, the E39. Could be that.
Yeah. It's
But
classic. It's timeless.
yeah, but the
Isn't that
whole,
what Michael Douglas drives in the
yes,
game? Yeah.
yes.
I was like, when I saw a movie, I was like, yes, great.
He knows.
Whoever
He
made that
knows.
call, they knew exactly the car that he
He
needs to
knows.
drive. Yeah,
He
it was
knows.
so well. It was really well photographed too. It's hard to photograph cars certain well, but that was a
Don't
good
get
one.
me started about game, man. Don't get me started. I love that.
I'm gonna rewatch it again soon because we get on our Fincher kick, and that's one of the Fincher films I love a lot. Yeah,
I think, cinematography, music, the acting, spot on.
all of them. The whole thing is just like yes. But this is cool to see. Or sorry, go ahead.
No, I think maybe it's as a tangent, something like I like to do. It's just watching that movie with someone else, a friend or a family member, and watching it again with that family member. Never watch it, so
Oh,
I
okay.
kind of
Yeah.
experience,
Rewatch
rewatch it with them and see their reaction because in the end it's a kind of a massive plot twist, and it's really
Yeah.
cool to see that people are actually like, "What? What's going on?"
Oh, they don't catch it when they're watching it, huh? They're
Yeah,
just
they're
kind
like,
of along the ride.
Yeah, it's really
So
funny
cool.
to see that. Yeah.
That movie does a great way of like the system of disbelief, or like kind of pushes you out there for the first time. Of course, after you see it, you know what's going on, but the first time it's like it kind of pulls you and pushes you. You're like, okay, and then yeah, it's just all of it's so fun. I just love it. Love when he gets tested and like when he's things are unraveling. But that Series 7, I always remember that Series 7 driving up the hill in San Francisco. It's just like quintessential rich person car, but with taste too. And he still drives it
Someone
himself.
who drive himself the car.
Yeah. It's so good. He had the little car phone and everything.
He's
Just
not
fits so
picking.
well.
He's not picking a BN. He's not picking a Audi or Mercedes. He's taking a BMW Series 7.
Yes. Bless that man. I like Mercedes just not nearly as much as I like BMW of that
Same.
era personally. Yeah.
Same. Yeah,
The
same.
Evo is probably the only one.
Yeah, I think DTM will make a massive mark. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole
So
nother topic.
so yeah, basically this the whole idea. It's a kind of a bonkers now. Think about it. So the whole idea was a Baja truck mixing these four ideas or thoughts in my head. It was basically the SUV X4, which is really cool to be a SUV. And then one of my favorite car all the time is these M5 CS. I think it's a G30. I think that's the call. And beautiful. I think 2023. That was the last generation where they keep this kind of a mean feeling of the car. It kind of, it's really narrow, kidney and beautiful headlights. It's so aggressive to be a M5. And obviously the Raptor. Man, what can I say about the Raptor? I mean, the Bronco. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. It could be a Raptor. I think it's like a Baja Raptor Bronco kind of thing before the Bronco Raptor came out. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the Porsche Mission R as well is there on the mix. So that was basically the overall cloud in my head, what it could be my Baja truck. And I think I tried my best,
I could see it here though. Yeah.
Really? Could you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, you can see all the flow, like you can see the DNA from all these things, but you're picking and choosing from things. This is kind of a thing that I know that gets asked of us quite a bit when it comes to designing is where do you pull your inspirations from? When do you pull from, like, how do you know what to pull from what, and so on and so forth. And I think it's really cool when you can go, oh, I'm going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but it's not going to just feel like one of these. It's going to feel like all of them together. And then on top of that, it's going to be your style also on top of it, which is when you're doing the design process, it's got to be really difficult, right? To find that rhythm, to know what to pull from, what to give from, what to add on, what to modify.
Yeah, it is really tricky. And now I think about the process, what I did back then, I would redo it again. And because, it's been 3 years and I learned so much about myself, how to improve the productivity and clarity of the design. I can narrow it down quicker instead of doing more like a guessing work. Maybe
Yeah.
because it's part of the process of growing and knowing yourself and your taste and rely on those and give you also room for experimentation. And here was basically just guessing what it could be. And mainly for me, the process it been shifting to more like a in 2D sketching because working with you, I've been learning working with you side by side how you do it, the way you approach. Now, the more we do work together, I can see myself with more clarity, and I love that. At the
Cool.
same time, applying the old skill mindset I have, which is building CG as a clay model. That's what I love to do. The clay model feeling. I'm jumping in 3D. I can visualize the car in 3 dimension. I'm not working just in visual 2D. I like to see the visual, but I cannot deny the power of having a vision of 2D. What is the signature? What is the actual core of the car? You need to find that. From there, you can just go and be more precise on what is the volume, because otherwise you have this clash of thin, a cloud in your head.
Yeah.
Four picture, the X4, the CS, the Baja track, and blah.
Yeah.
And how it's gonna melt, that's tricky. I mean, I can do it because I have the kind of idea what it could be, and then I'm improvising in CG and doing some polymodel. And that's why I wanted to show you this. And obviously all the details, I need this,
Yeah. You're pulling a lot of references.
Yeah, but that's basically that. It's just straight away to jump in on CG. I mean, obviously, I missed a lot of whips and BTS. That's
Yeah.
basically
This is before you're kind of capturing the BTS. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I think that this is almost 50% of the job done. It's just finding the volume, what it could be the car, and
Also proportions too, using their trophy truck based geometry as a proportional pace, so you can know how big the wheels are, how it sits, the proportion, right? Yeah, and then sketching on that.
yeah, that's what was a massive help for me creating the block CG stuff on top of that chassis paja. I think it was one of those from yours, right? You create that project with Ken Block. You
right,
create
yeah.
the lever, and I think you create the CG shots, right?
Yeah, the truck that we had done together. Yeah, and we had the base that was all there, all the geometry, which went. It was like months of madness. Yeah,
And
but we
then-
had it. So which is a good thing is we have the base that saves a ton of time because like modeling and building all the geometry and like full suspension underneath the entire chassis, like that's. So I don't think that existed on the internet yet. I searched because I wanted that for us, and I also wanted it for Ken's project, but we had to do a one of one, and we did, and that's what this is, and that's the base, and that's what we used as a method basically. Because if we didn't have that, I don't know. I mean, we kind of had pieces of that when we did the Vanguard and the Zodiac, the Baja Lambo, and the oh man, drawing a blank. What's the name of the band of the brand?
Was that the Lambo Zodiac?
No, the counterpart, the Vanguard. What brand is that again?
The Scout?
The Scout, yeah, International Scout. So, anyways, when we did that, we had built a bunch of CAD and got all that stuff, but this is like a whole nother territory. So, anyways, with this process, you were modeling and building out like the block out, and then rendering it, and then sketching on top of it, right? Just kind of flowing with it. So you're kind of hybridizing your workflow rather than keeping it completely in CGI and completely in 3D. You're kind of stopping, taking a moment, looking at it, sketching to give yourself objectivity.
Yeah. I think we do this quite often right now. Creating from scans or maybe for Square or TurboSquid models, we use those as a base, and then we build upon of that and creating different concept. I think it's helped a lot. It's not the same creating something from scratch, every single bolt. It's just mental. You can spend, I don't know, 1 year creating this build for reality. It's insane. So having that already asset, really legit asset, it helped a lot to create this kind of process. So basically, I focus just on the shell, where it could be the truck. It will fit perfectly on the chassis, and that is basically back then my natural step, my natural tendency to create cars and design. I can see that, all right, and then immediately I doing the IPR. I think it's really useful when I'm doing the blocky CGI thing with kind of a rough material. I see the highlights where it hit the material, where is the bend, where is the surface, how it react. I think it's really important to see the highlight. I think you do it as well in Cinema 4D, right, Ash?
I try to. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's important to be able to just see what you're looking at, because the viewport lies to you. And when we're talking about shape and line, dimension and flow, and now especially when we're starting to try and get into the more like grade A CAD class surface tension and detail, it's really key to look at it with the best view possible. And you really want to set yourself up for success with these things, because it's really blinding if you don't. But this is cool to see, because this is 3 years prior to our method now, which is a hybridized version of this. It's a method that's still working, but it's kind of like taking this is the seed that kind of grew and grew and grew into what it is now, which is really cool. Yeah. And it's cool to be able to see it.
Could be maybe I underestimate the process of sketching. Maybe because I have an idea in my head, I see how it's going to work, I have the vision, and then I translate that to a poly model. I think that could be the thing. But obviously, through the years working with you, and the more I do design, I realize a massive, important process, which is sketching. And don't get me wrong, I love the sketching. Sometimes I feel insecure because it's something like I don't often do, because I rely more on CG. But when I do it, I feel like I think I should do more of this, because you can find some nice nuance in different ways where the sketching, the same way as it's another tool to explore, right? The different tools give you different output, different solution where you never even think about it. Sketching is also your own mind, creating your own human error on the sketch. That's not, and then you find some strokes like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then you build from there, kind of an intentional approach, and then you have something interesting. The same you can apply with AI as well. AI gonna give you so many different solutions, and maybe, oh, you know what, that idea could be really cool. But yeah, AI I think is another beast. We can maybe one day we can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tool. It's cool to talk about that. It's really great to hear you say that, because I think that there's so much to be learned by the human imperfection error of sketching and the beauty of getting lost. I would say the power of sketching is it's cheap and fast and easy to use. So why not spend, an hour, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, just kind of fleshing out some ideas. It's one thing that I noticed when I was talking to various different designers and people at different levels and scales in their journey. And one of the things I always say is, like, I always ask, are you stopping to sketch? At what point do you stop CGI? Because sometimes it's so easy to just become completely enamored and lost in CGI. And then when you look at it from afar, it's just a mess because there's no harmony. You have to look at like the global harmony of lines and weights and transfer. And this is when we're trying to compare ourselves, say, to like an OEM, which is a team of incredible designers really working in tandem with these incredible resources to get the best results possible. When you're putting yourself as an individual up against that, you're going to hit certain hard falls basically. But if you can find a good rhythm and keep yourself objective and using sketching as a method, you're going to find like really cool stuff. Just like you're doing here, you're testing lights, which is kind of funny because if I think back to it, it was what we had done with the Brawler years prior. Oh, what should you do? And you just make a red line. Oh, okay. What should I do to the headlights? Bam. It's just, you can see it really quickly. Oh, okay, I'm going to go here. And that will give you the direction to move forwards. And it's a very cheap, fast way to work. It's just the only problem is you have to break rhythm, which is you have to have the discipline to know I'm going to stop right now and just have some objectivity. Let me stop, render, and then look at it tomorrow. And then you have clarity the next day. Your brain will tell you. And you have to lean into those little voices. It's really hard to do. But the moment you can lean into it, it's really key. You're like, oh, okay. like the car we're doing right now, the other truck. It's like, look at it the next day. I think I could change that. Okay, but let me just keep working and then looking at it, tweaking it, drawing it. You know, yeah. Objectivity is the real. That's the real. That's the thing. That's the power right there.
Man, I love it. Love it you mentioned that because it's true. I'm the first. I'm guilty on that one
Yeah, we
because
all are.
you could have the pitfall or the the mindset of I think it's really cool, and then you are creating your own narrative why that is cool, and maybe lying yourself. Try to
Yeah,
convince yourself, creating a sort of a narrative to make everything, yeah, this is really cool. And then you are like, trying to justify all your approach and intention decision, like, that's really cool. And then you keep grinding. And then
yeah,
and next day you are so far from that pivot point, you were insecure, but now you keep pushing. You are too far to go back. And then you are, damn it.
yeah,
You know what? Just fuck it. Yeah, just keep doing it and finish it. And you lost the opportunity to make maybe a slightly different. You're gonna
yeah,
open a new door and creating a new path of direction for design. And this happened to me. I think nowadays is less, but it's still happening.
yeah.
You lie yourself. That could be really cool. And then when you realize maybe 2 weeks later, damn it, it's too late. Fuck.
Yep.
Anyway, fuck it. I'm not doing it.
Confirmation bias is a blinding device that we do to ourselves mentally. Yeah. And it kind of clouds the clarity of decision making when it comes to design, because it's unquantifiable. Art is subjective. So if you're in the joy moment of making something, you're not thinking about the longevity of it. You're just thinking that I'm having a good time. But then the moment you look back at it, that's why I think, I know both of us really love automotive stuff, because it has to have even our stuff is very fantasy based, but it still has to have some sort of directional. It's going to be serving a purpose. It's a point. There's a thing. There's a human goes in here, and then they experience something. So it's attached to a design method. So it makes it fun as well. So it doesn't get completely lost in the tangential, ether of abstract art. It's design and illustration and CGI all tied together. So it makes it fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a function.
Yeah. Yeah, sort of. Yeah. I mean, we can do it as far as we can think it, but it was kind of cool. We're doing a deep dive into Formula One, and I was watching that video on the McLaren MP4/4 and just listening to those geniuses, these monster designers and engineers talking about how they built it. It's like, it's so cool to see the levels of how far people go into these like just tunnels of madness, and it's just so cool. And they're figuring it out as they go too. It's just that they're actually building a real car, so they have like real car pressure, which is really amazing. But they're also a team that is compounded and they're expanded, which is cool. It's important when you're relating yourself to other artists and other people that you got to be careful with the comparison game, because comparison can destroy you. So you got to keep it with a grain of salt and be like, okay, well, the different intention, different team, different logic, different approach, different output. It's all different, but I can get inspired by these people for sure, because they're going full on. I love the full on approach, and you see that in those people. Yeah.
Man, I feel you, man. I agree with that. I'm this kind of person where I feel inspired, not diminished. When I see some amazing work, I get inspired immediately. I don't have this giving. I'm not giving up or get demoralized when I see amazing work. I don't. Damn it! I'm so far. I'm like, wow. I'm really getting inspired doing, watching whatever. It could be music, it could be movies or art or whatever, or technical
You've
stuff.
been like that in the past though, right? At a younger age, you would be demoralized and like, fuck, right?
No, not
Or no?
really. No,
You always
never.
were like encouraged and inspired.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's a special
Always,
power. Yeah,
always
not
in my
everybody
life.
does that. Some people get demoralized by the impact of other people's work and they give up, or as you know.
I'm using always. I don't know. I'm lucky. I'm fortunate to have that kind of a skill set. When I see something I like or something like really amazing in my point of view, I get inspired and I want
Yeah,
to
it's a
know
powerful
more.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's something that could be viewed as a pretentious or cocky, where, I can do that too. Let me try. So I'm stupid enough to think about I can do something similar.
You kind of need that though, right? You need to
Yeah,
be kind of ignorant to the fact that you don't know, but you're willing to try. I mean,
yeah,
that's where everything comes from. If you didn't have that as a fuel, I don't think many things would get done.
yeah. I don't even try to build something from scratch like a Baja truck in Polymodel.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, you've built many things in regards to that level and you're doing it now, which is fine. I don't think you need the validation, but I think maybe it's a really superpower. And for those of you that are listening to hear that, it's actually really cool because I think a lot of, I encountered it's interesting because we're in our own little bubbles, and I'm in my office and I'm just jamming with you, and the world is quite small here. And then when I go out and converse and meet peers and different people at different levels in the game, not even levels, it's just different paths and journeys. I'm really aware like how many people suffer from these like pitfalls in the creative process. And so if like one of your pitfalls is like when you see work of others, you get demoralized, like try not to think like that. Try to go like, okay, well, like it's awesome that this exists because now I can look at it as like an inspiration. And instead of letting it overwhelm me, let me just like get motivated by it and then chip away at my own little, puzzle. Because it's all, at the end of the day, it's just time and energy. And you could be wasting your time and energy and then you're really doomed. But if you can conserve it and work with it, then you could potentially build your own mastery path. Yeah. Just a thought. What the hell do I know though? Every day is a struggle. I'm trying to figure it out myself. It's just different versions. I think, it's just different versions of yourself potentially.
But I see that I know what you mean about the dangers and the easy way to get into this black and depressing depressing approach. Or why bother? I don't have the skill set. I don't have the resources. I don't have anything. I cannot be even that close. Maybe you don't even have to. Just trying to be your best version of yourself. That's it. That's the game, and that's what I like to do. I'm not pretending to be the best. I'm trying to improve and enjoy the process. I think that is to me also the trap I have, where I can enjoy the process, the pain, and the victory. I can enjoy it both. The victory, I finish something, and suffering the pain on the process, I can endeavor. I can take that pain. And at the end of the day, maybe I'm gonna be a success project, or maybe not. But I'm willing to do it. And it's pretty weird, man. I don't know. Maybe something really personal here, but I had this kind of a superpower. I can go through for different process. I'm really pushing some reason. I think we talk about this a lot of the time. We are like a dogs just chasing without no really reason, really.
Yeah, it's really quite stupid what we do. Yeah. It's just being silly. Yeah, I don't mean to self-deprecate. I told myself we wouldn't do that much this episode because I know we continually say it. Yeah. But it's a part of the process. It's also a part of the journey of just being aware, and that's why we're going through this. And I think we're hoping is that by sharing this, that you all can experience this as well with us and feel that you're not alone with your thoughts. Because a lot of times we can be very isolated with our thoughts or think that we're the only ones thinking these things or feel like that, but it's not the case. There's been, so many people before us that have gone through way gnarlier things. And, but that doesn't really equal anything other than that's just their experience as well. So it's a paradigm, potentially a bit of a shift thing, but it's really cool to see that at this point, you're hybridizing your workflow though. It's cool. Like blending the render, the IPR, getting a quick view of it, then sketching on it and being present with it. Do you remember how many weeks you're into at this point?
On this project, as it is right now?
Yeah, like where we're looking at how many weeks you're involved.
Could be easily a week and a half, I think. Yeah, it's pretty much there. A week and a half. Nowadays, it will be maybe 2 days in this stage. Maybe one day.
Fast. Yeah.
Wow. Damn. Yeah.
You're getting fast. Yeah. The methods, you're spinning it faster. Yeah.
Yeah, I can get in this point really quick.
Yeah.
Maybe in 2 days, I have even almost finalized the poly model and ready to go to plasticity. Yeah.
Freaking Matrix stuff. He's like, I know Kung Fu. He's like, I know
Oh,
poly
I
modeling.
can see now.
Yeah, doing this.
I'm starting to believe. Yeah.
He's doing this to the UVs. Come to
But
puppy.
yeah, it's true, man. I can now really go further and quicker. I
Yeah.
think now that the most challenging part of where I'm taking even a little bit longer is not the technical part. It's not the poly model. It's about the design. Oh,
Yeah.
this is going to be really cool. And then I realized later, oh, this doesn't work. And I have to go back of the process. So yeah, 3 hours lost.
Yeah, because you're not taking moments to be objective and sketch. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, because you get kind of lost in like confirmation bias, and then the tools lying to you, and you're like, ah, crap.
Also, it could be sometime that's kind of at the gray area where you don't know what's going to be. It's the moment where you apply to the three-dimensional stuff. The
Yep.
most sensitive part of could be the fender, right? And then on the sketch front, side view, top view, it looks legit, and then you have to solve it in 3 dimension. How that works, and then you try maybe that way, and then you lost already one day just solving. Trying to find the best solution for that fender. Sometimes it never happen.
Yeah, it's all a part of it, and discovering it too.
Yeah.
And again, as we mentioned, it will continue to change through the process of discovery. Also, you get better. That's why I wanted to mention this is probably a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks maximum, and you can do this in about 2 days now. So your method is approached differently, but you're probably at this point, you're at the threshold of like, that's probably as fast as you'd want to do it, because you could go too fast that you could be missing little, things. That's another thing that's becomes a little bit of a pitfall is that you could rely on your past examples, and then what's happening is you're repeating yourself, and you're not stopping to change and evolve, and then fluctuate and challenge yourself, which is also the other paradigm of this thing, which is, again, it's a moving target, right? You could be really good and proficient and find your workflow and pipeline and be the fastest at it, but if you're not being objective and pushing yourself, you might not make original stuff continually.
Yeah, it's like asking yourself, what are you doing right now? Are you repeating yourself? Are you doing something special? Are you improving? What are you doing here? Just jerking off yourself and thinking this is fun? Or what are you doing here? Just think about that. I get caught myself so many times about that. What are you doing here? Just pretending? What?
Yeah. It's a cool paradigm. Yeah. It's something to think about because it never ends. Yeah. So this is when you're figuring out the lights.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Damn, we jumped away. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is a little bit further, right?
Way further. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about once I had this kind of locked, I think this is going to work. I don't remember which one version I went. I think this one, maybe.
Yeah.
That one. I think that was the sign off version, and then I go deeply on the modeling as well, knowing what I'm gonna do, and basically just ripping off beautiful missing R. Look at that.
Yeah, the Mission are those freaking geniuses. How cool is that thing?
Man, when this car dropped, I
was
couldn't
like,
believe. I couldn't believe. It's like damn it, Porsche, they did it again.
Yeah, is that in the Bronco, the Baja Bronco? Those two things that's why you have them in your reference. But it's like when those two things released, they released pretty close to one another. I was like, like
what is going on?
It's so cool to see an OEM or two of them just really swinging for the fences and going like this. We're gonna make the coolest thing. And truly, it's like, what is cooler than those two cars in regards to the design at the time? It's like, nothing. It's so cool.
I'm still staring at it like, damn, it's to me close to the perfection. Can it be better? You can't.
No, it's just so cool. Everything is so cool about that thing. Yeah, truly, it kind of just hit me, and I was like, well, this is peak design. Like, it's so cool to see that is happening now. Oftentimes like, oh, that was better then, but it's like, if you look at the original Bronco design and you look at, say, this, obviously this is a very, like, there you go, perfect. Obviously this is a completely wild version of that. So like, it's not the same as, say, the Bronco, like on the street, but it's similar. But like, look at the difference. Like, that's when you know that a designer is paying homage and stepped it to the next level. And that's exactly what this is. It is a modern version of an icon. and it's done so well. And most OEMs do not get this right, and they just got it right on all the levels. And it was just, yeah, can't stop praising them enough. I'm sure I'll praise them a lot in the Raptor episode as well. So bravo to that team, and bravo to the leadership at Ford for allowing their creatives to really, because you can tell this is a designer, just
fantasy.
This is a team of designers just doing it. Yeah, I mean, come on. I just want that in my garage and just go rip it, have fun. They actually make those too. I don't know if you've seen them. I think I've sent you some links to like Bring a Trailer. They had some that were selling. I think they make like basically that spec version of the truck from Ford. They're not cheap, but if you have the money and you want an awesome like OEM spec Ford Baja awesome truck, well, there you go. One that can basically just go everywhere.
What is the price? 200K?
I think it's somewhere around there, 200, 300K, something like that. That's just when you have money, you're like, whatever. That's like a toy, which is like somebody's house.
I'll think about it. Maybe I'm going to buy it.
Yeah. Well, definitely think about it. Put some thought to it.
Good luck with that.
No, anything's possible. Yeah. It's just, if you, I mean, as artists, we are money machines if we want to be. It just depends on how much we want to sell our souls for it. Yeah. How happy do you want to be? Yeah, this Mission R is so cool. The ratios, I feel like the ratios of the Meta is a kind of a condensed truck too. So I feel like you took those ratios of this and kind of condensed it down because it's more form fitting, whereas not as long as say like the Raptor, even the Bronco. I think it's probably closer to the Bronco, but yeah,
but it's
so
true
cool.
that what I wanted to do from the Mission R was basically ripping off the design of the roof, which I think is a masterpiece, and then something like I noticed right now, like, oh yeah, I remember that. Where I love when Porsche does this kind of splitting the car in half, which is really cool. It makes the car super aggressive and sort of a aggressive machine like this. It's really cool. And I tried to do that as well on my intention, splitting the car in two somehow.
Yeah, the belt line.
Yeah, the belt line over there, and then allow myself to maybe in the future of mixing liveries and making holes over there, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see the Mission R rear open flap in the back rear quarter panel, but then a cool thing is I can also see the Bronco, but most importantly I can still see you in there, so you didn't get lost between all those different things, which is easy to do because those are very bold and somewhat polar vehicles, but they have a lot of negative space and cuts and holes and like extra new lines and stuff, which is really cool. It feels like truly those two vehicles feel like the drawing of a designer. Yeah. Whereas say like the new BMW, as you showed, it doesn't feel like the drawing of a designer. It feels like a drawing of a team of designers potentially. And I don't mean to be rude or mean, but it doesn't feel like it just feels like a lot of people did a thing rather than one person did a thing.
Gotcha.
There's some things I'm guessing, and I don't know I'm sure there's a main lead designer there, but they got to answer to the engineers and so on and so forth. This is when reality, obviously the Mission R is like a tentpole concept, and then the Bronco one is like another concept, but it's what feeds the brand and the brand's direction. It comes up and then goes down in the brand, obviously.
Yeah. I guess it's a different beast. Maybe something like it could be similar to a kind of an analogy for car design could be movies in a way. You have different budget, different challenging to different movies approach. What is the target? What is the compromise? What is so many different things.
Yeah.
If you're going to be able to manufacture a car, you already have a lot of a process from the design, manufacturer, design industry, just engineering, just crazy. Because this kind of a car like this, BMW, this one, to be able just to make this car,
it's insane to mass produce it.
Yeah.
You like this one, huh?
Oh yeah. To me, it's one of the pinnacle for me from BMW, the modern.
Oh, interesting.
BMW,
the modern one. Yeah. I think it
one.
stopped for me at the M3, the F series M3, the sedan. That's the last beautiful one that I'm like, damn, that's freaking beautiful. And after that, I'm like, it just got too curvy for me. But you got to hand it to BMW for trying different things. And as an OEM, they're taking a lot of risk. It just looks like a ZBrush car to me.
ZBrush?
Yeah, like what, they make that in ZBrush? Look at the headlight curve like on top of the headlight there, and then on the fender, look how sharp it is. And what happened there? You know, like
I feel you, man. I feel you.
what the heck? There's a lot of that on that car. It drives me my eyes nuts.
I see what you
Yeah.
mean. I see what you
Yeah.
mean.
Hey, it's not everything's made for me. I would never buy that car. So
Yeah. Maybe I think I'm biased. I think I can see the natural progression to get to this point. That's why I'm
sure.
saying like at this point it was the last BMW where it feels cohesive in a way, in my point
Sure.
of view.
Yeah.
I can see why the direction BMW going and ending here in this point on this car. Or I
Yeah.
can see that. I understand it. I like it. I see the decisions. And but from here 2023, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Well, on the very right of your image on your pure ref, we have the E39 and M5 or 7 series or something. I can't remember. Yeah, I think you got some 7 series. That's the E36. We got the 8 series. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, damn, guys. Like, what the heck? Yeah. But okay, I'm not going to get on that tangent. Everybody else does it. It's not fair. It's not fair to
But
BMW.
you know what I mean, right? You can see the natural progression
Yeah, I see it.
to
Yeah.
to get here. I mean, obviously this is M5, but yeah,
Yeah.
you get the point. Or I can see that
Yeah.
happening. You know.
Yeah, the cutoff eye and then the kidney grill ratio and like the bumper is definitely more aggressive and cool too. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the M5 though.
Yeah, there's the M5. Yeah,
And then we have the 7. So 5 and 7 are obviously usually in lineage they're quite different obviously.
yeah,
But yeah, I just like when you crop in on things I'm like, what the heck? What's going on here? What the heck? And that's what I'm saying. Like when you crop in on the Mission R for me, like, yeah, makes sense. Like I see that car in the crop and I see it in the full thing and it all makes sense and it's all fucking cool. And yeah. But again, as I mentioned, it's like, of course it's scratching my itch as like a fan of like wildness. But there's definitely new, like, my friend has the new Hyundai Ioniq car that's kind of the blocky square, and that thing is sick. It's so cool. It's so iconically its own thing, which is so awesome, and it's proof that an OEM can go and make really unique new shapes and forms and design languages. So it's possible, but yeah.
yeah. Well, I can see that, the challenge of you have a massive legacy behind and then you have to evolve the brand in some direction. You cannot go too far because it's going to be disconnected and disjointed with your legacy. You have to be really clever. And that's why we love what Porsche does here.
Yeah.
This is a Porsche. But at the same time, it's so
different.
advanced, and so futuristic. Like, oh wow, that's a Porsche from the future. I can see the legacy of Porsche moving forward in this direction. Head down. Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, like put that next to a 964 Porsche. They are the same brand, but they're completely different. And I think you could do the same thing with BMW, which is what I think is lost. And I think that's the real shame. But again, I don't mean to be mean or rude. I have my own opinions on this, and that's yeah.
I mean, obviously, every single person has a different opinion. Actually,
Sure.
both of us, we somehow disagree. I think this could be this is a beautiful car. You're like, well, I'm hesitating about saying that.
But I'm also like, I'm curious what you think and why you think that, and I want to keep my mind open because I do see there's a lot of really smart, cool things happening here, but I'm also I've owned many BMWs, so I'm somewhat attached to the brand. I've owned like 5 of them, and they're all the older ones and stuff, and from E30s to E46s and all that stuff, into E60 M5s and stuff, and not the M5, the E60 535 IS, I believe is the one I had. But they're just such beautiful cars, just really beautiful, and they still look incredible on the road.
Yeah.
But they were so bold. Everything that they did was so bold, so strong. But they know they're doing what they're doing in the market, and some people are buying it. Somebody's buying it. Yeah,
Of course.
it's working. Yeah,
Of course.
that's why they continue making it.
The market doesn't lie.
Yes, whoever's buying it is the reason why they're continuing to do whatever it is that's happening. Yeah, the grill is really cool. Definitely dig that.
Oh,
But,
yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. That's a cool way of like taking the kidney grill, the slats, and actually turning it into like a cool aggressive like arrow kind of thing to push the air, which is
Yeah.
cool.
So that's the point where I wanted to bring all together. So in my head, it's like, all right, I have the all these together, and the kidney has to be like this, and
Yeah.
that's what I try really hard, and something like I'm really curious to show you. What is it could be? What is your opinion? Because I brought the Baja track on this SRI to see how behave with under the lighting and how
Yeah.
everything bounce. And I found something interesting here. I said to Thomas, it's like maybe the front is too squarish and something is off right here.
Yeah,
I
too
didn't
chunky.
like that. Something like after one week and a half doing this, and the last proof is just this. Just bringing the car on the clay model, render super clean and the HRI, and see how the shadows goes in different directions. I realize, I think this is not this is not going well, and I
So
wanted
you went a
to.
little bit further, and then you had to make a change. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. That
The
was
eyes are more angled in. Everything's thinner. It's wider. Yeah. Yeah.
it was a massive pain in the ass coming back to because that means remodel almost the hood and the bumper again from scratch.
You just did that with the latest Baja too. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
You did the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, I'm not afraid to go back and redo everything from scratch. It's fine. I can do it. If I feel strong, I can do
Yeah.
it. I think I did the same with recently we are doing a sports
Yeah.
seat for Porsche.
Yeah.
And after, I don't know, 1 week and a half, everything is done. I realized, I think I fucked it up with the proportion and the sharpness. I have to redo it again. And I did it.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. Like, and I think that's really admirable about yourself, where you're willing to go, oh, okay, what I thought was good, which is good, but it's not your intention. You want to go further. If you want it to be more angular, muscular, strong, dominant, you're going to do this other thing, which you're basically changing the face of the car and giving it more of, I mean, this is anthropomorphizing the human experience onto other objects, which we do with cars. Like everything we have is like, it's connected to the human body in some sort of like psychological way. And the face of a car is an expression of anger or whatever. So you're just, oh, okay, like I saw the expression, it's not what I wanted. So, and you can't really tell that until you get to where you just said, like, oh, I went out there, I put it in the light, and I saw it. Oh, you know what? Actually, we need to change this. I need to do this, and that.
Yeah.
Because from certain angles, you can't see that expression. It's like, oh, this works. This looks good. I think this will be the thing. Or you can also like lie to yourself and like, it's not bad, but
It's really
not,
cool.
yeah, it's really cool. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, but you basically re-changed all of the lines, angles, formats, and structure to it, which is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah. I think I don't do that many times. Only when I feel really strong. When I feel really strong, all right, this is not working, but also I know the solution, and then I can do it. But if I feel like it's not working, but I don't have the solution, I'm not even there to go back to something like a really intense work, like modeling. I'm not doing that. I need to know what is the issue and how to solve it. I think that's why I love working with you, because when I get stuck, I can ask you, hey man, how can I improve this? Or you have any input here? And then you give me immediately a reaction, where that's what I love, You got it.
Same.
Because obviously you have a different perspective. You are fresh. You can tell immediately what could be improved.
Same. I think that's, again, to talk about our partnership with what we do and how we do it. It's so powerful to have that. You just go, okay, cool, bam, and then no feelings, no ego. It says, oh, okay, good, awesome. Yeah, and not just going like, here's what you should do. Like, and I don't think we ever do that to one another. That's just rude, and that's not the right approach to do it. It's like, do you want an opinion, or I don't even say anything until you ask me if you would like it, and then, okay, cool, and then I will. Unless I'm like, oh, I think this, maybe he doesn't see this, and hoping, and then the same on this side too, like, oh, you should consider this. Oh yeah, shit, fuck, I gotta do that. I forgot about that thing, Like, okay, cool, and then get it done. So this is like what, week 3 now?
Could be.
Yeah, week 3. And week 3, you're 3 weeks in, and you're like, oh crap, okay, gotta change that.
Yeah, a lot's happening there already. You can tell the roof
Yeah.
is already there. I'm adding
Oh
detail,
yeah. All the
right
little extra
there.
bits and pieces. This is all polygonal modeling too. This is non-CAD. This is before plasticity. So
Yeah.
you're able to get all those little details and stuff using all the 3D Studio Max goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks so good in that tan too. Look at
Right.
those like
It
shoulders.
feels really military truck,
Yeah.
right? With this kind of a gray, milky,
Dude, you made the dream GI Joe truck.
right?
Yeah, you dude, you did it. Yeah, I love that. That it's coming off that like pinch line to the shoulder and the front. Yeah, this cool like that on the fender that comes and blends out to the fender line, sharp to smooth. It's really cool.
Yeah,
And
thanks,
that
man.
fender or that hood thing. When we saw that, I was remembering like we were trying to put that into the Mustang that we did recently. These are your signature things that you add into your stuff. You have these sharp and soft and moves and big bold shapes, and this is when you're able to kind of like capitalize on your own style, which is really cool.
Yeah, at least trying. I know my execution of the poly model is not refined, but I'm really trying to solve
At
those
this point,
problems. It's really tricky, man. You just have to solve problems like a fender like this. You are mixing the hood, the front bumper, and the side, and everything has to be cohesive. Damn, it's a nightmare.
so much stuff.
It's
Yeah,
really hard. I think you mentioned the last, I don't know, year where you are going to the streets, see cars around, you are studying surfaces and
oh
see the
god,
reflection
yeah,
and looking all the manufacturer, professional designer, how to solve the problems. And it's
it's
really cool
amazing.
to see that even though it could be the output from the car, the SUV is really ugly, but you can tell the approach, but it's really clever about, s- solving solution for those weird shapes. It's really cool, man.
It's super cool. I
I'm,
love
I'm
watching, looking at this
having
stuff.
fun on the street
Yeah, just
by
like
myself.
looking at SUVs. Whoa. Yeah, we were renting like a Dacia out in when we were in Croatia, and I was like, it's like a cool line right here. And, like, you should be able to look at everything and glean something from it, whether you like it or you don't. It's part of it. Here we go, another sketching phase.
Another
Yeah,
sketching again, a new
yeah.
front, new
New face,
headlight.
new lights.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So this is just going into Photoshop, taking the IPR, and just kind of sketching it and figuring out what you want it to do.
Yeah, feeling like all right. Now I got it. Now it's about fun. Everything is done. The main pieces is there, all the
Yeah.
doors and everything, all the detail is there. And now it's about. I think we do this quite often, right? That's part of our process. We leave the headlights at the end of the process, right?
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah.
kind of a signature for us.
It's become that. Yeah. Well, it's the eyes, right? So it's
Mhm.
almost like we're painting the skull and then we put the eyes in and then we add the skin to it, I think.
It's really fun, man. Like, it's so interesting to see how the car will change depending of your headlights. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's the eyes, and the eyes are the soul to there's the gateway to the soul of the face, So when you add it to the car, you're just basically giving it life. And doing it at this point, it's kind of interesting too, sketching it out. Like, look how different it all looks, It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you have like a angry eyes, you have like an alien
Look at
skull
this too,
face.
man.
Yeah, but it's so cool because you can quickly do that rather than you're in CGI and you're like, I think I want this, and you're just like kind of aiming through the dark. Okay, and then this is when your taste deceives you and you think it's good, and then you look at it, you're like, well, I'm already committed, and then you're just like, well, this sucks.
It's
Or
not
you can
cool.
sit there and sketch for like 5 seconds and go 2 dots, 4 dots. Okay, no, this works or it doesn't. And if it's going to work here, it'll work, universally usually. Yeah.
Something like I've been practicing lately is trying to have different mindset. I explain myself about mindset. Imagine having different allies to you or co-workers. Could be art director, could be a modeling guy, shading guy. So every single department is going to give you some input. So you have to be really detached from yourself and be clever enough to jump in those departments. All right, I'm going to jump now in the texture shading department. I know I can go deep on that one, so be careful about that department because they are super demanding. I don't want
Yeah.
to spend that much time with that. So I'm going to spend more time in the art direction and
Yeah.
then jumping back to the texture department or maybe the poly model, and then I'm jumping back between all these departments. That helped me out to be more objective in a way. It
Sure.
helps a
Yeah.
lot. I think something like you mentioned already, stop yourself and go into the Photoshop and painting on top and see how it looks. That could be the art department to say, hey, be careful with this. What about this? Or what about that? What about this? And then reflect on it and think about that. It's quicker than going to the modeling process. I'm going to model a new headlight and then another 3 days wasted.
Yes. That's why our directors exist. That's why directors exist, because they have to have that objectivity to the vision of the quest. And it's really important. It's a part of the process, supposedly. Yeah. But you can see it right here. This is a method. And it's cool we're sharing this method because hopefully one of the things you can garner from this conversation is to stop and have moments where you reflect on the design and then stop yourself and then not be afraid to change your design midway or even all the way forwards and work through it, the process of it and finding it. Especially because, like you said, if you were to ask yourself to do a one-of-one full-on concept from nothing, just inspiration, it would be really difficult if I was like, hey, just do it. I don't know, like ask yourself of that like 10 years ago, it'd be really difficult and you'd have a really interesting outcome potentially. Who knows? Maybe it would be awesome, but maybe not.
Yeah, man.
It takes a lot of years, I think, to understand what to turn on, what to turn off. And here we are. We're in the studio. We're in the Hey Studio, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to bring these renders because I remember that moment of disappointment.
Hey.
Yeah, totally. Here, that's the moment of truth. You have the studio lighting and your clay model ready to go. And I see all the the highlights in specular, how the lighting is behaving on the car. And I was like, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as sharp for you, or it wasn't like pushing for you, or what was it? Not enough detail?
I think it's coming back to the conversation of a signature, the soul. And I was expecting to have a certain feeling out of these images. I was expecting to have, wow, this is super aggressive. Oh, I can see that happening. And mainly for me, the way it works in my brain is like I can hear the sound on this track. And then when I was expecting to have something in that world, in this studio lighting, I was like, no, I don't feel that. I feel like this super generic car.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know you mentioned in the beginning, don't try to be self-deprecated here in this episode, but I cannot avoid that, man. This is the truth.
It's honest.
That's what I remember back then, feeling that way, like, oh, damn it. So now all what I have to do is just trying really hard on the shading to hide the lacking of personality or hiding the soul.
Well, you did make a livery that's quite messy. So, to hide it. When that's one of our hiding techniques. We put it, cover it with a bunch of livery stuff. Yeah. It's interesting that you couldn't hear the truck here. I can totally hear it. Yeah.
To me, all right, I can show you this. To me, the main fault is front three quarter. I know we have tendency to create rear three quarter, and we love that.
Yeah.
But that to me is the easy part, the rear three quarter. The complicated and the challenging one is the front three quarter.
Yeah, it's a face.
And then when I saw this, like oh damn.
Weird.
So many weeks on this shit, and it looked like this in a 35 millimeters close to the track, and it looked like this. All right, game over.
The 35 millimeter front 3/4 test didn't pass it for you. Yeah. Huh. Looking at it now, can you identify outside of just like it doesn't feel right? Can you identify?
I think the fender, it goes messy as soon get to the shoulder on the door, and then flying fender mixing with the kidney and bumper. The idea is cool, but execution, maybe the poly model is lacking of clarity there, and this the specular goes different direction, open and close. That's a fucking mess. That's
okay. I see what you're looking. I'm seeing what you're saying. Yeah, I think if you had more, like maybe your plasticity era now, you could see that and then add and then complement and refine and really shine those things out and go soft to smooth and blend in a really nice. I could see you doing it using the same recipe, potentially ratios, but refining those things so that it does feel almost OEM equipped, basically. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I think so. Could be.
Well,
I'm
the
not
ratios
sure.
look right. Like, I mean, the flow of like the ingredients and it feels good. But yeah, every time we do this and you're like, I'll just start all over. Like, shit. But you should actually, after this podcast, you should look at your latest Baja with those fresh, objective eyes and go like, and you should draw on it before you go to bed. I would, with that kind of like, I just time portaled into the past and look at it and then go, crap.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of pain before pizza night on Friday.
No, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, Ash, I'm not gonna, don't ruin my night.
No, man. Today I was finishing the day with with a happy face, looking our 987 renders. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
right. This coming well.
The good stuff's coming.
Yeah, the good stuff. But no, looking back to that. But it's a good exercise. Maybe not for today, not for
Okay.
tonight, but
Maybe
maybe
tomorrow.
next week.
That's classic.
Man, this
I love
weekend
it.
is a Formula One. I don't want to
Yeah,
ruin
okay.
my weekend.
Pizza and Formula One. We want to be a happy babies. Okay, then there you go. And also, you heard it from the source too. We all take breaks and time away from things, and also there's a time and a place to be objective and rip your work apart, and there's a time and place to just let it be what it is. Yeah.
It's
right.
great everywhere. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because I don't want to do that. Yeah.
I'm aware. I know where is my pitfall, so I don't want to dive right now in those trauma right now.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to be happy tonight. Yeah.
Man, I love this color. I would love to see this like in final. Like,
This color is gonna be my new Baja track. So
okay, good.
Yeah, bear with
Awesome.
me. It's gonna happen for sure.
I love that color. It's so cool. It's like this crazy like army tote
Yeah,
gray,
right?
slightly off. It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks
it
so
looks-
good.
Fits so perfect. The same with the greenish.
Yeah,
I love that too.
works too. That'll work well with your latest one too. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah,
Yeah.
this green color map.
Dude, it says the G.I. Joe truck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, dude. Come on, man.
It was in my subconscious. It's right there. It's just the
Oh, it's
G.I.
all-
Joe.
Yeah. Well, nothing ever leaves it. It's always there. It's just your brain's reaching and grabbing for things, whether you know it or not.
How funny is
Conscientious of
that?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the Batman head too. On
Right?
This is
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
True.
In the back, you can see his face. Yeah.
That's a Batman face.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, it's funny in the mission R, I don't think you realize it, but until you do, it looks like the symbol of the human, like the two arms, the head and the body and the X, the legs. Yeah.
Oh,
it's, it's like poof, the human projected on the roof. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So cool. Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah, I
cool
think-
you're testing colors and different things. Yeah.
I think you do this as well, right?
Yeah.
I think you do it even more. You can go wild with the colors. I can see that
It's never
sometimes.
ending.
Yeah.
It's never ending. I mean, look what we're doing at the livery. It's like, it's like hundreds of different versions and things. It's just, especially when we get into CGI, it's like, that's why actually it's kind of funny about the 280Z that I'm building. It's like, I just want to like cover that door white and for the week. Like, who cares? And then, turbofan green, like, and you can change it so quickly by just having these random little moments and little things that you can. That's what makes like wrapping cars cool. Or you change the color of the door, or the little part black, or a little accent this.
Man,
it's super fun.
that's so cool to see. You are doing that, and I know you do that. I'm not doing it. I'm not trying
doing it
that
right here.
approach. No. I'm not even that close. Yeah. Look at this. It's just experiment with 3-4 colors. You're experimenting with 20. I'm mixing all them, having a 100 combination.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's just me being
actually,
a spaz.
happening today. I was working the 997,
Yeah.
trying to do some liveries. I ended up with 2 colors. Come on, man. It's free. It's CGI thing. I can change the color. I couldn't because I feel so.
Well, when you like it, you
fixated.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so fixated. All right, this color works, and
Yeah.
this one too. That's it.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna try. Why not try it now? I'm not trying. So I'm fighting my head between going crazy, mentally crazy, thinking,
When it works, it works.
yeah. Why bother?
Why bother? Yeah, truly. I mean, why bother? Why fight that? If it works,
But
it works, and that's it.
that's the paradox, because I know deeply I need to explore. Just release yourself. Just let it go and just see what happens. Be a venture. Change the colors. But I can't. I don't know, man.
I think you're doing just fine. I mean, you found these colors that work really well. I'm sure you can go and search it. Sometimes a car also just tells you what it is.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, okay. And that's what's cool about CGI too. It's such a powerful tool at the level that we're doing it here. It's like, wow, you can really see it. And it's a 1-to-1 direct translation. Yeah, so cool. That low, like 24 mil or something.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. I'm
Keep it
loving
sped up.
learning the optics of these things too. I can kind of name the number as we get better at this stuff. Yeah. Love that low view though. You a little happier now?
About what?
Okay, you're not. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, I'm happy. Happier now. We are getting closer to the finish of the episode. Yeah.
Jeez. This is a good one.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
fun, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah.
Just messing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this point of view, yeah, it's cooler. That's why I trick the lens, just putting really down, hiding the issues there. So yeah.
Yeah, looks good. I like it. Yeah, these, which was kind of cool because I forgot about these, and then when you showed them to me, I was like, these are amazing. I don't think we ever published them and showed them. And I don't know if you're listening to this, if you follow us on social media stuff, which we mainly only use Instagram now, I suppose, for that stuff. Every Monday or so, I try to put a random collection of random stuff that we have, and I put these into the integration because I'm like, they're so cool. I love them so much. But they just got kind of lost. I don't think you never showed them or anything. And this is like kind of typical. There's so many things that are made that I consider really awesome that we just don't ever share. But it's cool to be able to do this on the episode and then also come back to it.
You know me well enough now to know that this quite often is happening sometime where I'm doing some random stuff. I'm not even considered to share it because I feel like whatever. It's just an exercise of intention. But the good thing is you are able to see the context and bring the solution. All right, what about this and that? This is gonna work. This is fucking awesome. And I I can see that, but I don't see it myself. I need you somehow to bring some different lens to look at it and say, oh, I see that working. I think this could be also the beginning of this kind of a madness where lately I feel like we are leaning towards to. Is going madness and crazy about the
So stupid.
inside of a car, chassis, engine, suspension, technical stuff. Why?
Yeah.
I want to ask you that about why we feel this lately.
We're stupid. That's why.
I think that's why you love this as well. Like, oh wow, this is really cool.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
Right?
I
Yeah.
love seeing the inside. Well, like with a lot of what we do and what we see and what's out there in CGI, it's very rare for somebody to go outside of the outside or go inside the outside of the car. And so that when we go inside, like the Celica car, the Celica that we did, it's just we went so crazy into that entire thing, and this was totally the beginning of that. Oh, okay, cool. Let's see what's inside, what's more, and let's keep going and treating it like art, because to me, like that feels like art. Having visited many art museums and seen these pieces of art, it feels like a piece of sculpture, and it's presented as so. You get to see the lines; they're exposed in a beautiful way, and it's raw, and the light is directional to kind of navigate you through that illustrative experience, which is so cool. And yeah, it's cool to see this because it's typical of you to just do something really epic like this and be like, no, it's not good. I'm like, what the heck? This is awesome. So, and then taking that from the trash and going, no, we'll share it. Cause it's a sketch. It's a method. It's you kind of just playing and having fun. I know you enjoyed it when you did it, but
Oh
after
yeah,
time, you kind of go, oh, okay, yeah.
I
And
think
you do it still now too. You do it with the NSX. The NSX is just the white background version of this. It's really similar in a sense, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But something to add on this train of thoughts to me is because having conversation with you, you're inspiring and I'm inspiring you. So we creating this kind of a
yeah,
spiral of conversation. And then as soon as I finish the core and jump into CG
yeah,
and creating those ideas in reality.
yeah.
And that's basically it. That's why having fun. Because myself, I not even consider creating this kind of renders like this.
Yeah. So I guess because we both were musicians, I think it's just like jamming, you know? It's like, oh, check out this riff. Oh, check out this beat. Okay, cool. Oh, this is fun. It's the same kind of method. I think it's just like having fun, passing the energy, showcasing things. I mean, a lot of this stuff comes from like a reference. I can't remember the artist that I was studying. He's a fine artist, a contemporary fine artist. I forget his name, but he does interesting things with cars and sculptures. Like he has like this Mustang body that's put into like a block of like a cube of concrete. I can't remember his name, but it's quite well known. I'm sure you can find it. But that was like, oh, interesting. We can kind of take it and turn it into these like art installations, and this could be this thing that this becomes. And because we both kind of look at this as not just cars that just are driven. These are like unique, and every build that we do, like when we're doing the ESP with the team at Holy Hall, or like the Paradigm 190 Evo with the Trick Factory guys, like these are one of one artworks that are combining engineering with art and science, technology, all these beautiful things. And it's just, that's how we look at it. When I see it, I go, that's art. That's functioning, moving, epic art. So cool. Can't wait for all of the builds to be made at some point. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
cool thing.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the
Yeah.
way.
Even if it's just half of them, that's going to be an incredible accomplishment. We'll leave a legacy. It was like worked with the world's best people to make the most cool stuff, and we're just super stoked. And our family expands of all these awesome, talented people making rad things and chasing dreams. There's a million reasons why not to do these things, but there's the one to do it, and it's because you love it, you're passionate about it. It's really fun. But yeah, I love these renders so much, and thanks for letting me dive through them and expose them and share them publicly with the world, because they're awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to mention something when you go over the Holy Hall and Trick Factory. Shout out to them
Yeah.
because as you mentioned, there's so many reasons not to do it,
Yeah.
and they are doing it. And to me, it's really exciting, and sometimes it's overwhelming. So, oh, wow, they're doing it. Because CG is easier, way easier, and it's
It's
almost
not as
free.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these guys are committed to do it, and that is a massive, massive labor.
Yeah.
Over
Part
having
of the team,
respect,
baby.
man, admiration, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, tons. If you haven't followed the build process so the paradigm hasn't been publicly shown, but it's in the works. The team up in Vancouver, Trick Factory Custom, Tim Black and the team, they're working on it, but that hasn't been published yet. But Holy Hall in Germany, they have a website, they have a YouTube channel called Holy Hall. Look that up, you can see it, and they are going so deep into like the methodical approach to make sure this works. It's so inspiring and so cool, and it's just really awesome because they're building a one-off car from nothing, basically. They're using an engine and different counterparts from other devices. As you'll see, they're using the E60 M5 V10 BMW engine and an Audi manual transmission gearbox, and they're pairing it's just crazy what they're doing, how they're doing it, and they're really methodical. Even just the tires, big thanks to Gabe from HRE for helping get them the tires for the car, and then HRE is also going to be supplying the wheels for the car as well, which is incredible. It's just amazing. It's truly amazing. We're really stoked, and just the family grows, the Haste family grows, and what you see now is going to be what's going to grow in the next 5 years or so. It's going to become commonplace. Like, oh yeah, okay, boom. People just don't realize it yet, but that's why we're making these little time capsules to kind of lock these things in.
It's a long-term plan.
Yeah. It's fun.
But it's true that these guys from Holy Hole, sometimes when I watch the videos, like, wow, they are really respecting the design, taking care of all the details, and also creating that conversation with us, making sure we are aligned and we follow the process and we agree. Also support them when they have some doubts, and open that conversation. It's not that easy. Some guys, they will go, oh, you know what, we're gonna try our best and fuck it, we're gonna do it. But they are so detail driven, and I love that. They want to make sure we are happy with this, and they are making the best out of it, which is great.
Yeah, Fabian, he's been our main mode of contact, and we use GPT to communicate to them in German because they're German, so they don't speak English as their native language, which is awesome too, to use technology.
Are you learning German?
Hell no. That's such a gnarly language. So brutal. I'm sticking with Italian, baby.
What about
Italian's
Spanish?
my next. Italian and Japanese, those are my babies. I'm going to
Yeah, man,
focus on those.
you should learn Spanish. And then we can talk
Un
Spanish.
poquito. I have enough to get by and to assault people. That's enough. Yeah. But yeah, it's awesome. Take a moment. And if you're listening and you want to follow along with these things, it's wild. It's so crazy. Most people don't even realize this is a thing or it's happening. And it's so cool to be able to showcase, to be like, yeah, this is a wild idea that's really being made and it's on its way. And it's so cool. We have 4 builds right now. One of them is top secret, but the 3 of them are publicly known. The Paradigm 190 Evo, the ESP, Lotus Esprit, and then we have Ferris's C6 Corvette, the Time Attack, which is all 3 of those are just like, damn, dude. Yeah, let's go. It's going to be epic. And the 4th one that we can't talk about is that's insane. This 4th one is really, I mean, they're all insane. It's just one of them alone is like, it's crazy that it's happening.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You think about it.
Totally segued in 10, like off the meta. Sorry. This is like, we're not even talking about the meta anymore. Yeah.
Even better, man.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
Yeah. Love these lights and the renders and directionality, like the directionality and everything.
This is basically you, man. I think I get inspired by your method of lighting. And back then you were working in the Tommaso.
Oh, the De Tomaso project.
Yeah, the Tomaso project, and you were messing with the coronal lighting and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And I get so inspired by your lighting, striking, darkish, moody. I'm like, oh, wow, that's so cool.
Oh, interesting.
And I want to practice this. Yeah, in this meta project, I did that over and over using that directionality based on your De Tomaso renders.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, and I love the blue and the red, the contrasting, the little hit, the fall off. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, another example of not showing these renders in public.
Yeah, these are awesome renders that never got out there, that no one knows about. Yeah, you got to please send me these images and I'll put them into our Monday posts. Yeah.
Cool, man.
These are awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
Love this fall shadow.
It's so funny. I managed to do the welding on the tube. I never been show and only in the teaser. I never the teaser been public, so really pointless waste of time.
Yeah, you do that with a lot of your builds too. You go as far as to build the seam welds on the actual tubular steel that would exist as a normal.
Yeah, I love that because it's also super easy to do in 3D Max.
Yeah, the spline and building.
Yeah, the spline and then blending these in polymodel, easy.
Yeah, I use ZBrush. You use a better method. I'm just like, yeah. But then it gets really heavy and it's a mess. These are great though, the light and stuff. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, I remember.
Compliment. Yeah,
I remember back then where you mentioned, hey, maybe we can start to make teasers of our builds and creating this narrative to drop in social media. And this could be one of the first doing seriously or the teaser.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Belladonna had a little bit too. Belladonna LaCroix build. I think we did some teasers for that. But this one is so one of one. I was like, yeah, I mean, no one's going to guess what this is because it doesn't exist. But it's kind of cool. You know, we love to play and have fun. And get everybody excited about it. Yeah. Yeah. Please send me all these because I've not seen any of these. I've seen them obviously here in the last time we did the episode, but it would be nice to be able to share them with the audience too.
Yeah.
Just put them out there. Because as you kind of, as if you're following what we're doing over the past years, it's like it's all this big thing. It's this big tapestry of, at this point we're probably in the thousands of renders now.
It's madness.
Easily. Yeah. It's insanity. And here's the livery too.
Yeah,
So
finally,
nice.
the livery hiding all the issues and the geometry and the design.
No, looks great. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I
Love
quite
the
like
door
the
shape
livery.
you chose too. It's nice. It's unorthodox.
Yeah, I like the livery though. I like the. I would love to apply again this livery to anything else.
Yeah,
I know
the
it's quite
M car.
trendy-ish, kind of old already, but I think it always works fine. This kind
Yeah.
of livery.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
like harsh
abstract
lines,
geometry.
chaotic. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, obviously, using the same spotlight. There you go. That's why I wanted to
Oh,
bring this.
yeah.
This could
Yeah.
be a little bit spoiler for the next episode, but
Oh, it's
I
not
think
like
it's
anybody's seen
worth
it.
to mention you practicing the lighting and how both of us, push each other, inspire each other, and spiral out all the. There you go. See that?
Yeah. I was trying. Yeah, I was definitely trying to keep up and also just play and see what I could do with it. Because I was like you, well, more, I was hiding the fact that it was horrible poly modeling. So I was like, let me hide this. Yeah. Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, this
Yeah,
truck.
that's basically
truck.
inspired by you. Just
Cool. It's
doing
good
exactly
flow.
the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the red hit on the engine. I think we were doing that a little bit with LaCroix and Belladonna as well, the internal light. And I know that you've done it in various other projects as well, the internal red or the engine, the highlighting, a little spotlight. This render on the right is so good. I mean, I love them both, but like this one's so great to me. I love the shaft of light and then the fall off and then just the right amount. But to talk about what you've done here, it's not just two lights, it's multiple lights and learning when to paint and when to remove and when to hide. And it's a really, it's not easy to do, truly. You make it look easy, which is awesome, but it's really nice to be able to, you had one supporting main actor and then you have supporting actors around it basically, which is really cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's true. It's a massive task creating this kind of lighting. It takes a lot. Maybe it will take me. First, you have the discovery, knowing really well your car, what fits well, what is not, plus on camera, and then
Yeah.
you have to discover what kind of lighting fits the car, what kind of feature you want to show. It's crazy. It's really hard. Once you get that, you kind of start to play with the theme. What it could be the lighting theme you want to play, and yeah, it took me a while. I will say in this kind of a task will take me 2 hours, 3 hours to find a shot like this and work it out. Right, what I'm missing here, because the first impression is making easy. All right, yeah, I see that one lighting, but it's not only one lighting.
Yeah.
I would say here we have, I don't know, six,
Six? Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
It's
I'm counting
crazy.
6. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's a lot.
the trick is just making sure you feel like it's one lighting. And you
Yeah.
start you start with the hero, which is that cross lighting,
Yeah.
and they start to fill up the rest. What you're missing, and that's when everything starts to be really complicated because you get blind through the process, and you ended up having crazy amount of lighting and creating kind of a cartoony effect and losing the effect of dramatic lighting. That's really hard.
It is super hard. You see it a lot in like advertising of automobiles. You see every light is trying to show everything, and I get it because they're trying to sell a car rather than an emotion. Well, it depends on the brand and the approach, obviously. But yeah, it's really cool. You can see the level, and it's cool. I think that's on it, and I think hopefully you're. I'm gonna recap what you just said. Is when you approach this very complicated 3-hour task, or maybe even 4-hour task, is you always start with the focal length of the camera, lock that in, and then their second one is what do I want to see? Because then you know the features of the car, what suffers, what doesn't, and then you pick your light to showcase that. And then from there, you just support the rest of it and then accent that. And that's that's kind of how you would light a portrait of a person. I think you would, it's how you would light a scene. Okay, what's happening in the scene? What's happening? Why is this? Okay, cool. What am I doing here? Okay, what's the focal length? How much room do I have? What's my, in and out? Okay, cool. And then you just work from there, but you're conscientious of every decision along the way and trying to make it work as you go. It's tricky.
Really hard. Also, because on top, if you're coming from the design point of view, you're creating something from scratch. To get to this point, you are blind in different reasons. One of them, it could be you want to show all the car, all the feature you have been working from for weeks. So what are you doing here? Just, I don't see the feature I'm doing here, special design.
Look at me, Mom. Yeah, look at me.
This is not the show to show that. You have to be dramatic. Just, be bold and say, I'm going to show only a hint of it.
Yeah. I mean, but you still see a lot of the truck here, which is cool. Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah.
There's a maturity there, I think. But also you've done quite a few renders, so it's okay. You're like, okay, well, I won't show it here, but I can do it there. Like that one's really well lit on the left of it. So you're showing quite a bit of the design in the car, which is great too, or the truck. But it's awesome. It all works. And the scale, that's one thing I also struggle with. And I know that this has been on the topic of our discussions in these. I know a lot of other CGI artists suffer as well, is like sense of scale. I'm getting better at it. I'd say probably getting better with each time I'm being aware of it, mainly because I was doing weird optical stuff that wasn't making sense, or shooting outside of the height of a human, these kind of weird things potentially. But this is something that I think you do a great job of. It feels real to scale on density of detail, at the same time optical to the human perspective, which is really rare and difficult to do, and is often overlooked in regards to CGI, and something I think you did really great here. Personally, when I see it, it's awesome. It just really works well. It feels real to scale to the human perception.
I think it helps when you have real scale lighting. That to me is the 50% here, and then on top you have different percentage, different details, like the floor. You mentioned the lens or the heights. It's not too high, just high enough to feel realistic. It could be a 180 centimeters height, something. Quite higher, but
but still right there. It's almost like probably like right around a person's chest at 6 foot tall, or maybe a little bit above their head, maybe, depending on how big this thing is.
I think I told you this story working with one of those production. I work for Pininfarina, creating those renders release, and after a few weeks working with the retouchers, and I was a little bit blind. I didn't know what to do next, and the render starting to come out, and the retoucher was like, yeah, that's really cool, that's amazing, but it feels like a toy. And it was so, fuck, why you tell me that now after 1 week of work of lighting, and it looks cool, but it looks like a toy. And we start to dive in what is the main reason, why is that? And the end of the day was because the lighting, the lighting at the environment of the studio lighting wasn't accurate enough. It was massive. So the lighting was crazy big. So what happened in the end of the day, you have a CGI, which it could be really accurate. If you have lacking of reality of the lighting source, it could be really misleading for perception of reality. And that was the main issue. The car, it looks like a toy because your lighting source is massive. That is not even connected with reality. I mean, you can find some lighting really long, these massive panels. But it's kind of a bizarre.
Yeah, it is bizarre. It looks otherworldly. Almost makes the car look like a toy. I've seen photos of those things, of real cars, and it looks like a toy because the light is so big. It's unnatural. Yeah. But yeah, you're using the sense of scale. That's cool to know. So again, I'm trying. Like, I know that when I encountered people talking about this, they have a lot of similar questions, and I'm hoping. I just told everybody, just like watch the YouTube videos, because we do talk about it. I know that's like a lazy way of just like, here, spend like 2 hours or spend, I think we have like probably 24 hours worth of content now. And through it, I don't know if you're listening to this, if you can take this in, but we're trying to give you lessons. And I don't want to be doing lessons and teaching right now. It's so much work and it's exhausting. I don't think you do either. So here, That's that's a huge thing. I hope you took a real lesson from. There's been many of them, but that was one, like, okay, the scale of light, make sure it's real world scale. That's how you're going to get real world depth, and your textures as well, and how that all kind of ties together. I think I tried to do it on the Raptor, but I failed in certain ways because I was playing too much and breaking those rules. Whereas I think you did it exceptionally well here, which works really well. Yeah.
But again, because you start with the Raptor with those directional light, it was like, yeah, okay, cool. It was a good reminder. I'm going to use the same technique of dramatic lighting, really powerful spotlight. It looks really dramatic and really epic. I think I should do coming back to this kind of lighting. It's really cool, man.
Yeah.
Super fun.
It does. Yeah. I feel like we should, because it's cool. Maybe we could do that with the latest build or something for fun. Because you have the setup and everything. These are so killer. I mean, they're so good. I mean, obviously we love the one on the right. That's the thumbnail.
Yeah.
But it's just so good. Love those ones above it too. The little red hit. Yeah, the graphic, the light that comes through and the graphicness of it. The tire.
This is really cool when do happen, when you have the super powerful lighting bounce on the floor and coming back and reveal the negative shape of the wheels and all this.
Yeah.
When
You
this
put
happens,
a fake light in there though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You put one on the bottom there just to kick it up because the GI is not that strong,
here.
right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there. Yeah. Because the GI is not strong enough to do it.
Doesn't
So
make
you
any
have to
sense,
kind of
right?
cheat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it kind of does, but slightly off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that's lighting. That's like really subtle light painting, but you want to see it and it makes sense and it works well. Yeah. Again, another super complicated light study, but you have all of the things working there.
Yeah, I think I have so many lights here. I think I have
many.
one hero and then have another one for specular.
Yeah.
I have another one on the floor. I have another one here slightly. I
see
have
that.
another one over there. You see all the rims lighting over there. Yeah.
And then the lights from the tail lights too. You might even have a support red light coming underneath them, hitting the tire too. No,
For
or
sure.
Is that coming? Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's not enough light from the light itself to do it. So you probably had another one there,
Yeah, right there.
invisible. Yeah, yeah. Because red light doesn't cast like that either, and so you have to really push it in the engine. Yeah, and it's so easy. Like when I look at this compared to say like my Batman renders or something, like what the heck was I doing? Everything is friggin' turned everything up to like 100 power. Messy, stupid. Yeah.
No, but I think you were using VDV or smoke or fog.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that revealed the shape of your fake light. So you cannot use it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, that's a good excuse. Yeah.
So you were clever in that one.
Not really clever. Still made a mess and was being a CGI noob, but it's okay. Yeah.
But
trying.
in the end of the day, it's just machine. It's a machine labor. It's fine. It's just a machine, just hours of rendering.
Well, it's cool as and you look back at it, you can go, okay. So like you just did now is like you looked at it and go, oh, like I would like to come back to it, being inspired again, but then refining it, seeing it with the new car, like all of these things. It's important to look back at these things and then be inspired and then continue it, move forward, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is good. You should probably talk about this too.
Oh yeah, I wanted to show these guys. So many people is asking how much post-production you have on top in our process, and I'm one of those where I don't like to touch much about the render. I like to go straight from the render to color grading. I don't want to do any retouch or heavy retouch. Maybe because I burn out from advertising world where everything's being retouched really heavily.
Yeah.
To satisfy the client. So I don't like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been lucky enough to work with amazing retouchers. So all my renders have been improved for 200%. It just looks way cooler. But the pain of the process to doing that, it's just so much work. And I like the process of going straight and easy. Maybe because I'm lazy.
More power.
Or I don't like the process of splitting renders. So I like the process of what I see in the IPR, that's going to be my render. I'm not going to be satisfied until I don't like what I see. I'm not going to stop until I like what I see.
Yeah.
And
that's
basically,
so
basically
just a slight grade with you just change the white balance slightly on the highlights and then a little bit of saturation and then there you go.
Yeah,
And
basically that. On the left is the IPR, pure render, and then on the right side is just the grading on top.
some contrast.
Yeah.
pretty one-to-one. We're the same way too, because I hate post stuff. I was like, oh my God, I don't need time for that. At the end, I'm exhausted of it. And I'm like, okay.
I guess we like to think about our render as a photography, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Which is ironic because now I shoot with this little Fuji Xe4 and I just shoot JPEGs now because I bake in the exact look I want. And I'm like, whatever. Like, I'll probably get this later, but I don't like having all these like crazy raw files. It's a nightmare to manage.
And then processing all through the computers and going to like
boring
Photoshop or Riverside. I mean Riverside.
DaVinci Resolve.
DaVinci Resolve, yeah.
Yeah, you could do both on those. Yeah, it's definitely a process. It's enjoyable. And then also not. But yeah, even on the ones down below that, it's the same thing. This is a good like just slight color shift, a little bit of contrast, right?
The color grading, and you know this about myself. I spend a crazy amount of hours trying to figure out what is the color grading. Actually, we are in the process of Porsche 997, what we're doing right now, and I'm already doing the grading. We are far from finish all the renders, but I'm already working on the grading because I need to be really confident the grading is all right. It's okay. I'm not.
What's the final image?
Yeah, exactly. It feels like a final image. Yeah, like, all right, cool. This has to be out. So I want to make sure I'm not fucked it up the process with the cherry on top. It's kind of a shame where you have so much work and then ruin the render on the grading. Like, it's happened to me when I realized about that. I just I can't stand that.
Yeah, it's definitely a part of the process, but it's nice to be able to do it at this point. And testing it as you go is really key. Then you can push your look and what you want, and it's a part of the process too. Grading is so essential. It's so important, and it's so subtle, but it's so important. You can see it here. It's very subtle, but it's there. Yeah.
It could be, I don't know. Tell me, you let me know. But I feel like in the process, the actual process, it could be just 5%. But the end result, in the implication of that 5%, to me is almost 50 of your image. It's crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes it's really impactful. It just kind of adds that final thing. It's 5%, 50%. It's just the part of completing it. When you're really truly doing a piece of art, everything is important, and everything is as important as the other thing, and you're just constantly moving that importance through the process.
And here again, what the hell? It's so reddish, and then side by side, this is bluish, greenish. Wow, all right, all over the place, man. What the hell?
But you're testing and trying things and getting it to work the way you want to. It's part of the process.
Yeah. I have to be honest. This livery, I quite like it. Sometimes maybe I have to consider maybe applying soon enough. Again, this kind of a black matte and shiny coat, something like this.
Yeah,
it's really cool. One. Yeah, love that.
It creates a lot of interesting things. Maybe you could do it with the latest car.
Yeah,
could see it working well.
Some pattern.
Yeah.
And again,
you went far into this. This is also something that I think was replicated a lot in the CGI community. I remember seeing this a lot. The red square dominating the glossy white concrete too, which is cool. Is that Audi thing? Or did you start that, or did you see it somewhere?
Oh yeah, I've seen somewhere.
Well, James Turrell has those like art installations that have those big rooms with the big colored wall and stuff. Yeah.
Interesting. Because the way I see it, I get inspired by those sketch. In the sketch world, you use this all the time, just a box color on the background, and then the cars get, contaminated by that color. It's a really effective way to reveal shapes in the sketching world. So basically that's the same thing. But it's true that, in CG artist community, they are inspiring too. When they see some renders really cool, they use a similar approach, which is funny. Because I will always recommend to people not being inspired by your industry. It's better just get inspired by others. Painting or sketch, music is better. It's a little bit fresher.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
you're
I'm
adding
also
to the pot.
I'm guilty for that as well. It's really easy. Your brain tricked you
Well,
where
it's
you
literally your name, Color Sponge. You're
yeah
just sponging and absorbing everything,
yeah all
not
day
just
long.
colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all day
Yeah.
long.
Love these renders though. The color, the angle, everything is coming together. These are your hero.
I
So
would say
you're,
this is my hero. I
yeah,
love this share render. It's true that these I will say, yeah, I love this render. That's
good. Okay.
how I wanted to feel the entire section,
Mm.
the entire process of how I want to feel the car. It looks.
Mm.
This is the look. I love this kind of a feeling of it. I mean,
Mm.
obviously the car doesn't look as I wanted,
Yeah.
but at least in one render, I get that vibe. Of, I can see that happening.
Hmm.
This is the vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Maybe
looks
because
great.
the way it's been shot of the render looks like a sketch.
Mm.
It has the vibe. It's a little moody. I don't know.
Yeah. And you have the livery kind of breaking up the forms that might kind of steer your eye around. Yeah. Yeah. Even those, like there's so many lights going on there. You're just light painting. Yeah.
Yeah, literally that.
Yeah. Well, you're showing the difference between when you did direct the light and push the light and when you didn't as well. The two differences between same camera, different lights studies, basically.
Oh man,
Yeah. A lot. Yeah.
it's funny because I wouldn't even dare doing this now. Going this precise and obsession to make the right thing on the lighting to show exactly the same, exactly the shape I wanted to show. It's crazy. I don't know. I went crazy,
Interesting.
man.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
do it now, huh?
No, no.
Yeah.
I
Why?
would
Is it
go.
just confidence or you're just like, doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I want to show the car in the natural lighting. This is really
Yeah.
art directing, advertising.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm burned out on that road
Yeah.
for so many years.
Well, there's different flows to the creative impression. So like we're kind of in the natural state, I would say. Like if you look at say like the last submitted public renders or the NSX, like you did do some really interesting light style studies in the studio for that, but then the rest of it was like as trying to be as naturalistic as possible outside. So that's what you're chasing right now. Like, what does it feel like to be real?
Yeah.
The moment of element of being real, which is, if you study art history, it's like you can see that happen a lot. And like when the photography entered into the space, then a lot of like abstraction and impressionism came into place because it was a response to these things of overtly being real looking. It's like, okay, this is a false version of reality, so now let's just make it what feels like to be real. It's constantly evolving. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see that. It's cool to hear that too, that you're leaning towards that, because I'm all about that natural stuff.
It's funny because I never thought about it, and now looking the renders, like, why am I doing this kind of renders? Oh, now it's been 3 years, so yeah, I can see that.
Well, also that's kind of the pedigree you come from, working in the industry, and there's a certain kind of formula to making an image strong and striking. But then now you're like, okay, like that's what's really fun. Like even in the NSX, we did long exposure stuff and just playing with like, that's like so flawed and so completely anti-agency. It's so like they would never work,
Yep.
But it works for you and what you're doing and what you're trying to do now, which is cool. And I also love that you're doing it because it's more real feeling, which is cool. Yeah.
Maybe the work could be natural.
Yeah, naturalism. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that it's natural. Even though it's kind of funny, man. How are you gonna say natural doing CG, right? It's
Well,
almost
it's
the
art.
opposite.
Well, I mean, anything can be, right? It's all subjective, but at the same time, it's the intention. So you're trying to capture that, like,
True.
that moment, that beauty. What is that moment? That thing that's, this about my photography. Like my whole thing with photography now is like, it's the moment between the moment. This is the fleeting aspect of time, being present in that one moment. Okay, it's gone. The light's here. It's gone now. It's the same thing for this. You can control it, or you can let the naturalness of the world feed into it and play with it a little bit, but not go too far. But it's cool that you have this ability because you can tap into it at any time. Like, okay, I can do the hyper realism, because that's hyper realism is what I would consider that. It's like hyper realism. It's realism hyperized, like just turned up.
Yeah. I will say maybe now the last couple of years I've been trying to approach it as the masters to feel natural, even though you're doing so many tricks to make it feel natural, even though it's not even real. But it looks natural. It looks kind of real, but you're using so many tricks to feed up. I would say like these DP, obviously.
Yeah, like Roger Deakins and all these guys.
Deakins, all these kind of photographers.
Or even like Rembrandt. You're talking about Rembrandt, you know, as a portrait painter, or Vermeer. Like, you know, like you compare like Vermeer to Rembrandt, the difference in light study, light approach, hyperrealism, abstraction, being present in the moment, the expression, all of these kind of things. Art has a cycle. Oftentimes I feel like hyperrealism is often the choice when you don't know what you're trying to do, or you're trying to push it so far beyond realism that you're making a caricature of it. And so you're almost like complementing the abstraction of what you want it to be. But by doing that, it feels insecure. It's weird. I can sit and look at like, because I was just at the museums in Paris at the Louvre again, and like there's no contemporary art in there that I could see. Maybe there is, I just couldn't find it, which is fine because it's very, you know, either you love it or you don't with contemporary art. But I can sit in front of like a really mature Monet for a long time, but I can kind of glance and pass by like a beautiful, well-rendered hyperrealism painting from the Renaissance and like, okay, that's cool. I think it's because it's just telling me everything here. Okay, that's like an iPhone photo of a fantasy. And then this other one is like, what is this? Why do I feel this way? And then that's what makes that work relevant. But that's a whole different tangent, and I'm completely uneducated in this to like really tap into that. But it's really cool.
But this is super interesting, man, the way you describe it. But at the same time, it's so subjective, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about your own context of and connection with art.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting there because every single person have different attached context and experience with art and connection.
Yeah.
And that's why it's there out there and so important because it's so open and so broad, and you can feel so many things depending on your context of life. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you're just kind of mirroring, right? So the whole time you're just mirroring what it is, and then having a deeper conversation as to why do I feel this way, and then it's just deeper dives. Yeah,
I mean,
constant deeper dives.
I have a massive respect for you, the way you approach art, and it's really inspiring. And because I study art on my teens and I hate it, and have a bad relationship
with art history.
With our history and art, I have a really bad relationship. Not because the art itself is based on my context of teacher and the way I study art.
Sure.
I never had the opportunity to have a good grasp of what it is.
Oh man, yeah.
And it's kind of a shame because the same with books. Now I'm getting better at it with books. Similar thing is my relationship with them, with books and history and art. It's kind of a weird, man. I feel kind of ashamed sometimes, like, what kind of person?
It's honest.
Yeah. But I'm trying really hard. You know,
I'd
I'm
say
really
your relation to it sounds like everybody else's for the most part. The general, like it's rare that people are like, I love art, I love going to museums, I love reading books. I was like, that's a really rare person. It's hard. I don't really encounter them. Some people I know don't even read any books. It's like, oh damn, okay, yeah. I mean, I kind of don't blame them. But yeah, it's your introduction. Could have had a bad teacher or just a bad introduction to it, and it ruined you for it. Like, damn, you have to unlearn all of those things. But yeah, looking at art and art history is like, fuck, it's so cool. It's so cool. It's super cool. And you could hate most of it, but you can love 5%. It makes the whole search that worth it. He's like, wow, this artist is crazy. This is so cool. Like they're doing the thing that I didn't even realize was a thing, but it's here. And yeah, it's repeating itself constantly. Super cool.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? to kind of show you the last renders.
Yeah. We're at the end. Yeah. This is a
Man.
long episode. We haven't done an episode for a while though, so I think
Yeah,
it makes
I really
sense.
enjoyed this kind of episode because it's been a while. You were on holidays. I've been busy,
Yep.
going crazy here in my studio. So
And
yeah,
also
it's
we
about
did it
time.
already. We already did the episode, so we're doing round 2. So it's great.
Even longer.
Yeah. No, I love these renders too, and like this is also like you just going full ham and doing wild stuff, and it's really cool. And it all kind of comes together too, and you get to see the forms as well, which is nice.
I just copy you.
I don't think so, but that's
Yeah,
cool.
I copy you. I took this from the Sudoku bike.
Oh yeah, the bike.
studio
Yeah,
and the black thing. There you go. You got it.
just
I
be
knew it.
freaking out, being a spaz. Yeah,
Yeah, and again another example of synergy work as a
Yeah.
team.
yeah, proper teamwork. Yeah. Well, also like look at the tires. You know, these tires were done by you when you did the Vanguard, and so these are being used again, and then they're used on the Raptor as well. Everything ties and connects, which is really awesome. Yeah, this is awesome. And the
Yeah, as
strap
you know,
and
as
everything.
always, I mention if you have the tire, that is
Yeah.
almost 50% of your build.
Yeah,
That's
imagine
it.
putting crap tire on there; it'd be horrible. It just would feel so bad. Yeah. And there was no tire like this on the internet. You can buy it. I still think there isn't. Maybe Clayton has one.
Maybe
I think.
Clayton.
Yeah,
Hopefully
Clayton just
soon.
made one. Yeah.
It's gonna save the community to make a sick tire.
Go Clayton, go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's great though. Yeah.
Hey man, this being a long episode, and I
Yes.
feel like I'm being open and got it about explaining all my insecurity here. But I really try to not be self-deprecating here. Hopefully, it's not that much, right?
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? It's part of it. Yeah, it's a part of the
Okay.
process. No, I think it's great. And I'm obviously biased because I'm here with you doing it. But yeah, I'm hoping that everybody that's listening to this is you're able to really garner what we're saying. It's so abstract, and obviously we're all on our own paths and our own journeys. And a part of that is us just kind of learning as we're going and sharing that with you all, which so we're hoping that our journey is also something that you could take from this and have fun and enjoy it as well, and take some of these lessons I know we've continued talking about, which is lighting and judgment and staging and placing and all these kind of things, which is key. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we call it the process.
Yes,
whole
that's
thing.
exactly it. Yeah.
And that's why I love to doing this kind of podcast. I don't know how many people is out there listening, but I don't
Thousands.
really care that much.
Yeah.
But for me, what really stand out is the way we do this. Because tell you that we are not hanging out for 2 hours talking about our own work. That's not what we do. And these kind of podcasts allow for a window to open for both of us doing this, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what I enjoy. Which is
Yeah,
great.
we never do this. Outside of this, it's like, yeah, we're usually
No,
just keeping
not
to
even
ourselves
when
jamming.
hang out together in flesh.
No.
We are not talking about, hey, you remember when you did the meta?
No, yeah, we're just talking about life and like weird stuff that happens. Yeah, and then our future goals and like family and life and
Yeah.
the beauty of it all, the madness of it all.
Yeah, but that
true.
doesn't mean this what we're doing here is not being done with truly love, because
True.
this is basically us talking about our own process. And I love doing this because I can discover some new things I never thought about it, or maybe something to reflect on it tonight when I'm eating pizza on Friday night. And
Yes,
so yeah,
pizza night.
this is really cool, man.
Oh yeah, thank you for being here, being vulnerable, sharing everything, sharing your work with us. Again, this is, as I mentioned, the meta is a milestone in the Haste collection, and thank you for doing it, setting the path, because this is like adding on to where we are now 3 years later. It's cool to look at it like this and go, damn, okay, this is awesome. Like it's compounding. And thank you to everybody who has been here with us and listening, and we hope that it's helped in some capacity, and hoping that you're killing it and making amazing art, and we're looking forward to being inspired by you.
Yeah. Also, you get this kind of exercise as an inspiration.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Awesome people. Thumbs up. Double
Adios,
thumbs
adios.
up. Adios.